Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
Three newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I wonder what we're talking about.
Not cake.
No,
Cake,
crackers.
cake, cake. We're eating crackers right now, you guys, that are super spicy and really hot. And like the temperature is rising in the room.
I think super spicy is a stretch.
They've got a kick.
We're eating, when you know the saltines that you like dip in butter and then roast in the oven,
Like
that's
at
what
Christmas
we're eating.
and stuff, yeah.
They're
Crack.
coated in
They're coated in crack.
crack and
Crack and
red
cake.
pepper flakes.
Yeah. Butter.
Butter.
Isn't cake.
Good one. What have you guys been up to?
Not eating cake.
Not eating cake.
Sad day.
I wish, though.
You know, one of my favorite like people, and well, my first word was cake. But also growing up, like my first book report on like a historic person, I obviously did Maria Antoinette. And,
Obviously.
Why did I think you were going to say Betty Crocker?
no, I did have an easy cake, and literally obsessed with her. And I did not understand it at like second grade. I was like, let them eat cake. Yeah, let them.
Let them.
I was like, are their parents like not letting them have sugar? Crazy.
I hope you get it now.
I do, but yeah. And I love that movie with
Kirsten Dunst. So good.
so good.
Yeah.
Maria. I went to her house in fall.
What?
Last fall.
Yeah, I've been there too. It's so pretty.
Versailles.
Oh.
Not Kirsten Dunst's house. That
I
would cool too,
literally
though.
was like, where is this going? You went to whose house? Marshall's?
Caitlin is like, what's going on?
She's like, can we not?
Caitlin's like, this is another TikTok thing. In the fam, we all club. Or what is it?
And the club, we all fam.
In the fam, we all club.
club.
That's so true.
So true. Marshall got her haircut.
I did.
Yeah, you look fresh
So fresh.
for fall.
Very much so.
It's been zippy out.
Except for right now in this room.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Just a
Like
summer
sweating.
day.
I'm in my sports bra.
And a crisp summer day here.
With a nice Pinot Gris iced down.
Yeah, honestly, at least we have that. Thank God you didn't bring a red for today.
Oh, heavy.
I have some in the fridge though.
Here?
I mean, in the parking lot.
Oh.
So not.
Not
In the-
chilling in here right now.
The fridge of your car,
Yeah.
which is an
It's
oven.
because
Literally.
it's because we buy podcast wine in bulk, and Caitlin's not letting me keep it at my house because she doesn't trust.
You said that you didn't trust yourself.
That is
Furthermore, you said
I
you
don't-
didn't trust your husband.
There's not a lot of trust.
You need to spill my dirty laundry on this podcast.
Matthew just loves a Pinot Grigio, and he doesn't know what's his and what's not.
He does love white wine. On our wedding night, he was like, I just drank white wine the whole day and I haven't eaten. I'm like, what are you, a 19-year-old girl? Like,
God.
Get that savvy
Or a
beef.
45-year-old.
Yeah.
Like
Or me?
empty night.
Me 2 years ago?
Let's be honest, it wasn't really 2 years ago.
Shut up.
The Saturday afternoon.
Learn your lesson.
She's like, stop spilling everything.
No secrets today.
Anywho, what's up with y'all? Do you want to share anything about you guys?
I don't have any secrets to spill. So.
Oh, I did. Whatever.
I feel like I don't have any secrets, but it's Monday.
I disagree with both of those statements, but I'll let it slide.
Oh,
I'm like, what are we talking about?
I guess I have a lot of secrets, but moving right along.
Cake.
All right, so we're going to talk about cake, design, trends,
Wedding cake.
a little
Obviously.
history of cake cutting, and we're going to end with our favorite, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Let's do it.
Okay, does anybody know the tradition or like meaning behind the cake cutting?
It's like, no.
No. So it's like, honestly,
It's going to make something up. Oh,
and
I figured
just not that quick today. Not that quick. I kind of like when I was researching this episode, I didn't really think about how much actually went into cake because it's like, okay, the traditions behind like the cake itself, the traditions behind cake cutting, like now there's like traditions around groom's cake. Like there's a lot that goes into a wedding cake.
And they give you a soundtrack.
Cake toppers.
Cake toppers.
Yeah.
Pick your song for the cake cutting.
Is your dog on the cake or not?
Yeah, there's a lot.
These are serious questions.
Yeah.
Is your dog hidden on the cake? Because I thought about hiding mine.
I did too. And then I was like, that's a little much.
But people do it. I know.
You're gonna
At
do it
the
on the
same time,
groom's
I
cake.
could see myself fully doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I
If it
needed a
probably
groom's
didn't-
cake, I would have done like a life-size honeybee, like
yeah.
full
God.
replica.
I know. Gil wanted Connie on the groom's cake,
Oh,
but
that's sweet.
didn't get it.
Well, cake cutting specifically goes back to like medieval and Roman times. And what's interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah. Throwback. Old school.
I'm paying
History.
attention. Medieval times. I mean, that is a long time ago.
That's a long time to be like cutting a cake.
Yeah.
I mean, think
and
about-
for the tradition to still be going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you think how
Weddings,
many
man, they're an
modern,
institution.
modern now things that
Karen
are like
Huger.
not done at weddings. And it's like, I bet not all of them were done at
I
in the
wonder if they were
medieval
doing a
times.
garter toss in the medieval times.
We'll have to follow up.
We'll see. They did some weird things. So
But they did it.
The red wedding. Sorry. Just thinking about a medieval wedding. Never mind.
are you talking about Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I feel like, well, that's like a made up.
Whatever.
Anyways, Caitlin. What were you
Anyways, so historically, the bride cut the cake alone
Oh,
saying? Depressing.
as an act to symbolize the
I
loss
would
of.
love a moment.
But it was why, like it was literally.
But listen, what was the moment?
Yeah, I don't know if you want this kind of moment
Okay.
in front of your father.
I barely even wanted to kiss Gil in front of my dad.
It was she cut it alone to as an act to symbolize the loss of her virginity.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Naughty, naughty.
Was it red velvet? They didn't have that in
didn't have
medieval
that.
times.
Yeah.
But in Game of Thrones, pigeons
Fact
came
check.
out of the cakes.
Really?
Yes.
I forget. It's been so long.
Yeah. Anyway,
If you wondered.
didn't and
Is this something else you didn't
Winter is
watch?
coming.
and honestly, I saw something and it was like honestly, the people that didn't watch it are impressive because they just didn't get influenced.
It was so good though.
I watched
Was
it
it?
way later, and it was like a nice binge.
Okay.
I wasn't
loved
caught
it.
up in the
maybe after maybe like this
It's
winter
so
if I
long
need something.
though. Like that's the thing with like trying to get into an HBO show. Like you have to have a dedicated 6 hours. Like it has to be a day when you're like baking Christmas cookies and you're like in front of the TV, Caitlin. Like because each episode is an hour and like
A full
you
hour.
don't understand who the characters are. Maybe for like 3 episodes, you're like, wait, who was that guy with the long brown hair who looks like a Viking? Who was that guy with the brown hair? It's confusing.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's for me.
No, I agree. It's like Matthew tried to get me to watch The Wire.
I didn't watch that.
Matthew has still to this day, until he listens to this, will believe that I've like seen most of The Wire.
Perfect. Well,
Love that for you.
He was like, "Do you want to watch The Wire?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I love it.
Love
Like
it.
seen like
So
half an
good.
episode. I was like, "Oh my god, if I have to watch another episode of this
Shoot
thing,"
me.
I'm like,
caught up.
"Sorry,
I'm
I don't
caught up.
remember."
so yeah.
So it wasn't red velvet.
Well, yeah.
God,
Anyway,
Call
so
back to my bad
yeah, call back. So it was historically, but now the symbolism behind the cake cutting is that it's like the first task or activity done together as a married couple.
I like that better.
If only marriage life and married life could be that easy. If like your tasks are just cutting a cake every day.
Right. Well, like in Steel Magnolias, it was red velvet with the armadillo.
Just throwing that out there.
Throwing that out there. Okay.
Good movie though.
And then there's the tradition of feeding cake to one another.
Pass.
And smashing in their faces.
Yeah. Did y'all feed each other cake?
We did feed each other cake, but we didn't smash.
No
We
smash.
didn't.
You didn't feed each other cake at all?
No.
What did
I had a fork and I ate my own cake.
Oh, okay.
And he ate his and we cheersed our champagne.
You were independent. You were like, we're
Marcia was like, "We don't need these dumb
I
traditions."
was like really looking
A
forward to
modern-
the cake.
I'm a
so I
modern
was
bride.
Like, and then I
Yeah,
ate his slice too. So
I know. In all mine, I'm like talking after we had the cake. I'm like, it's great. Like, my mouth is full.
Get some.
Literally, the pictures of me doing the cake cutting are the most unattractive pictures from the
you
entire
are
day.
starving. And then you have a bite of something. It's like when you don't eat all day. And like, not that that happens that much to me. When you haven't eaten for a few hours and then you have like a small bite, is when you're like, oh man, I'm ravishing. Like,
Yeah, it's like, this is
so
amazing.
good.
And it's like a little
Yes.
sugar high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're a little drunk and you're like, like
Yum. This is the best cake ever.
Yes,
Whoever
literally.
planned this wedding is a genius.
You guys, one time, one of Matthew's aunts, we were at the lake. We were eating this cake for his parents' anniversary, and I was like, it was a long day at the lake. And I was like in the kitchen, like eating the cake, and his aunt just comes, like, Marilee, stop eating this.
Embarrassing. She's like, this cake isn't even that good. Called out.
Called out.
Okay.
Did you stop?
Yeah.
I mean, after that, you kind of have to. There's no coming back.
Just in there alone.
Shoveling cake. The tradition of feeding each other cake is something that you missed out on, Marshall. Sorry.
Your wedding isn't legitimate.
This is all fake.
What about people who don't have cake?
It means that it's supposed to be a romantic and sweet gesture symbolizing commitment to providing for one another, showing affection between one another.
Yeah, I'm okay with my decision.
Marshall's like, I stand by it.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm
this just actually reinforces it for me.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like now they do a bunch of different things. Now you can have a dessert bar.
Yeah, there's a lot of dessert options.
Yeah. Or like now everyone loves to do that like big cheesecake and they like put the powdered sugar over the raspberries themselves.
I have not seen that.
Literally no clue what you're talking
The
about.
giant like big cake in like Italy.
Oh.
I think I saw one TikTok exactly on that.
Okay. I've seen
All
like
right.
80. I don't know who I watch.
Yeah,
I don't-
not sure.
Yeah. I'm not as big into wedding planning anymore, I guess.
Okay, well, so y'all didn't feed cake. We did. You did. We did. But it was like very just like, it was literally a bite. And then it was like, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me.
Did you guys have, we didn't have a groom's cake. Did you guys?
We just did it at the rehearsal dinner. We didn't do it at the wedding.
We had one at the reception because it was like from my parents to Kyle.
It was it was cute. Well, it was a bass fish
Yeah, and it was
jumping out of the water.
jumping out of the water.
Cute.
It's kind of funny because I guess I never posted our actual wedding cake
Oh
anywhere.
my God, but you posted that one.
I posted that one, and some of his work people were like, we want to see pictures. And so it was just like the like Facebook album for like my parents.
And they're
friends.
like, what an interesting
and they were,
wedding cake.
yeah, they were like, this is your wedding cake? And I was like,
I
oh
didn't
no,
see that for you.
that's the groom's cake. And they were like, well, where's the wedding cake? And we were somewhere in like, it was awful service. So I was like trying to pull it up and I was like, it's there. Like, it didn't look like this. I
Right.
promise.
Yeah.
It's more traditional.
Yeah. So we did a groom's cake, and Kyle, like, he had his own cake cutting actually.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did.
By himself or?
I like stood there.
No, I was there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
By himself. No.
Well, they did that in medieval times.
I mean, I didn't help him cut it.
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
And Caitlin, I don't know, could barely help cut with the first one. Caitlin was like,
Yeah. My like planner was like, here, do this. And I was just so stimulated because it was supposed to be,
that's one word for it.
it was supposed to be a private cake cutting. So
Yeah.
we didn't announce it.
we didn't either.
And it was just supposed to be like, oh, like we were going to slip
Right.
away and go cut the cake. And then they were going to put stuff out. And all of these people were standing around.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is not for me.
I know our back was to everyone. So they could have been watching, but I didn't care. I didn't know it.
Yeah. So
I had a public cake cutting,
but it
but
wasn't
my
announced.
mom missed it.
It wasn't announced
Yeah.
by the DJ or not the DJ, the band.
I don't think it was, no.
Yeah. And that I think is the difference. And so
Yeah.
like in wedding planning, decide what you want if you want it to be like a formal announcement and like an audience. Because
I could have had more of an audience though, I'm thinking. Like, so, but
I
you
was
guys,
there.
yeah, like you guys were both there. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I had fun with who was like watching
Yeah.
my cake cutting. But like, if more people were there, I think it would have been fun. But it was also fun that like, it was my friends who were up front and not like
A bunch of-
family.
Yeah.
Sounds mean. But like,
I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bunch of people who I don't like see very much or who maybe got there on time. Like, it was like my friends were up front and it was like a fun thing.
Yeah.
And Goldie was there because that's what we bribed her with all day.
Yeah, it was cake.
Yeah.
So she was like, we were like, we're cutting the cake. She was like, I'm standing right here. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not moving.
She was like, it's literally the only reason I'm here today.
That was my flower girl.
But I do think it is something to call out and think about is like, because your cake is going, like the cake cutting is going to be on your timeline no matter what.
Right.
But the difference is if it's announced to your entire audience and they pause and everybody comes. And that was one of the things that my planner had said. She was like, it takes up more time and it takes away from dancing. And so like people were
Speeches,
still,
you forget how much stuff like goes on at a wedding reception. And also like you're the bride, you're busy the whole time. Like you do not get a break. You're running to get pictures and then someone's like bringing you something and like whisking you to the next place, but someone's grabbing you to talk. So you're 5 minutes late to the next place you're going. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And so I think that is the thing is like if it's
bananas.
if it's a like not a public or like a private cake tasting, it just means that like your band or DJ is not going to stop playing and they're not going to announce it.
Right.
But your photographer will know what time it is and they'll
your
like
planner
be
will like
there to
grab
take pictures.
you. Yeah. It's not like someone else is going to cut your wedding cake.
Yeah.
They'll find you.
Yeah.
They definitely
know
will.
who you are. So for you, Marshall, how was the cake cutting process? Obviously you had your back to people, so you didn't like have people just like they were
Watching.
staring at you, but you didn't see them staring at you.
Yeah. And we did choose a special song at this moment. I don't remember what we chose, but we did choose a song to be played as we were cutting it. And then the planner came and got me and she was like, I don't know. I was weirdly nervous about cutting the cake. Like I was like,
I kind of was too.
I felt like I was going to mess it up somehow.
I did not think about it at all. And then the girl was like, come, time to cut the cake. And I was like, how does it look? I haven't even seen the cake.
I think that's why I got nervous was because, well, it wasn't even nervous leading up to it. It was just in the moment. I was like,
it was in the moment. I was like, how do I
doing?
cut this?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not prepared.
They literally
I'm a trad
essentially
wife. I
cut
knew
it.
how to do it. I could cut a cake myself.
I mean, I know how to cut a cake, but it was
like
just
a
like
3 or 4 story
four-tier,
cake.
like,
I'm like, I'm going to.
I think they did point to it, but I don't think at any point I was worried about cutting a cake.
I
My
think I
first
was
word was
also
cake. Do you know how many
just-
cakes I've literally cut into?
I think I was also just like, it's like the pictures and everything. So
that was it. I was like,
but they essentially cut it for me. And then at the very last, they're like, just cut here. And me and Gil just like both went like that. And then they scooped it up and it was good.
Who knows what I did? I do. I mean, I was
you were
great.
present
Sort of.
mentally, physically.
I was
emotionally.
actually like I was maybe disassociated a little.
A little
I was
overstimulated.
Pretty sober.
Where was the cake? I mean, I know where it was, but like, did you have it as part of like almost a centerpiece at your wedding?
No, I mean, it was like right when you walked in the tent. So like when you walk in the tent, it was like there was the dance floor and like the band and like the stage and everything. And then to the right was like all the tables.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like to the right when you walk in before you get to the tables. So like everyone could see us.
Yeah.
But my back.
Well, that kind of is nice because it was under the tent where everybody was. So people could still see you, but it wasn't like get up and come look.
Right. Exactly.
Kate, yours was not under tent. Yours was inside.
And I feel like people were inside and my parents didn't see it either. And I remember like our in-laws being like, or my in-laws being like, oh, you missed the cake cutting. My mom was like, I didn't want to see it. She didn't really say
Like,
that.
I'm enjoying myself.
Savage.
But she was like, I told everybody I was going to be on the dance floor.
Yeah,
I
and
knew.
she was.
Yeah. And she was like, I knew that she was like not announcing it and I'm not wearing a watch. So that's on her. Like, I don't need to see it.
Right.
You're
I'll
like,
see the
I trust she
pictures.
did it.
Yeah. Like I got it. So it was separate. And I kind of feel like that almost made people be like, oh, they're cutting the cake. They're cutting the cake. Get up and go look.
Right.
And it's like, no, stay away.
Like you can go. You don't have to
my
come for
mom's
this.
on the dance floor.
yeah. My
Like,
parents
stay
are-
back.
Yeah. My parents are hosting and I think you should be there.
We paid for this man. You should stay.
Yeah. Mary Lou, you had, I feel like, a good kind of balance where it wasn't like you said, it was like us.
Well, mine was by the bar.
Yeah.
So there were a bunch of people in line, and we had a bar kind of like right off the dance floor in like a sunroom kind of a thing. I forget what the room is actually called, but it
Yeah,
has
it's
a
kinda
good
like a-
description.
It was kind of like a
name.
sunroom. Yeah.
But so we had it like the bar right off of the band. So like if you were by the band, when we had a bunch of our like friends and family were like sitting out there, I feel like everyone was just kind of right where we were.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Well, as you think of wedding cake designs right now and like some of the trends, Mary Lou, you mentioned one. What are we loving?
I love the giant cake thing. I want to try a piece.
Like when you say a giant cake, is it a giant flat cake?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one
So it's
tier.
like a true like cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And then what are the French dessert? It's like the little balls or whatever, like that's in the tower. Gosh, what's their it starts with a C.
A croquembouc or something.
Yes. Honestly, at one point I wanted
Nailed it.
that because I thought they were really cute and it would just be like
Isn't
an
it like
easy
cream puffs or something?
And I love that. So
You guys remember those cream puffs you get in the box at Costco?
Yes.
In the freezer. So good.
just like that.
I think because we ate them in my house.
Okay, it was like, but where do I remember?
It's like, how do I know that?
Yeah,
Like,
this is a
literally
distant
me.
memory.
Yeah, like I feel like they're at like events, like I don't know, growing up and going to my like work events with my dad. They were always there too.
Like corporate events.
Yeah.
Caitlin, remember I would like make us go downstairs and pull them out of the freezer and like wait for an hour, and then I'd be like, we can go back upstairs.
God.
Now.
Mary Lily's love of desserts. Or
It's never changed.
yeah.
Never wavered.
Love sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you? What trends are you loving? And I love, like, if you love candy, like some of the candy bars I think have been super fun. Or like if you're in New York, it's like Dylan's Candy Bar could do a table.
My
Yeah, that would be
hairstylist did funnel cakes, I think.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
food truck and they did funnel cakes.
I went to a rodeo the other weekend and I had to wait in line for funnel cakes for forever because the woman who worked the register, her husband, I mean, not her husband was working behind her. Their son, I don't know if it was their son, her son had just
Not a lot
been
of facts.
moved prisons to Montana. And so since he was now on the West Coast, his time to call her was later. So she was like literally FaceTiming her son in prison.
Love
and
that.
like the line was forever long.
I had no idea where this story was going.
Prison.
I love
And
it though.
funnel cakes. But
And
your
that's why.
hairdresser.
I want to say
did-
yes. And then I know someone else who did ice cream, like an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on what you like. I really like cakes, so I was like,
I love cake.
I think
yeah.
it is fun. I'm like thinking back to a wedding we went to last November and they did like a dessert bar kind of, and it was all like the mini desserts. And then it had some canisters of like just different like candies and stuff. And it made dessert feel so approachable too. Because it was like,
Right. It's
we
not like they're
were on the
coming around with
dancing-
like a tray being like, cake? You want cake right now? It's
Yeah.
not like.
So I always say yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Me
it
too.
is.
I'm like, I'll have another plate. My dad was waiting by the kitchen for Caitlin's cake to come out because we knew where it was from.
Yeah.
I literally am like that too at some weddings. I'm like,
He
when's
was
the cake coming?
He was literally like, whenever the cake comes, I'm taking 2 slices and getting your mother. And we're going.
and we're going to take the rest of this cake.
John
with-
Salerno is serious about his cake.
I mean, it was a good cake. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying, but
My brother did cake, like I think it was maybe just a 2-tier, and then he did mini cannolis from this place
yummy.
Yeah.
in town. They're so good. And I was so pissed because I didn't get one.
Oh.
And I was like wandering around. I was like, where are the cannolis? And he was like, they're all gone.
Awkward.
so that is a lesson learned that my mom and I talked about because our venue, it was owned by a caterer or is owned by a catering company.
Yeah.
And so we had to like, everything was by the head count. And so for the cake, it was nice because the place that we use, they've literally done my cake since the 3rd grade.
Well, out Edible Art, we love them.
Edible Art, we
Shout
love you.
out.
And I was on a call with the baker and our wedding planner before.
Selwyn Avenue.
Yeah, before when we were having our final call with them. And I was like, she was like, the lady was so sweet and it was the end. And I was like, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, this really is so special. Like,
and Caitlin's been getting like her birthday cakes there since we were in like the 8th grade, like
Yeah.
for a long time. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
And
like
it's
full
like-
circle.
all of our graduation cakes, all my parents' birthday cakes, like any celebration, there's a cake
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
Anytime I walk across the street, I get
Yeah.
a slice of cake.
As you should.
And so I was like, just thank you so much. Like, this really is so special that like now you're doing my wedding. And she was like, oh my God, like this is so sweet. And she gave us a free kitchen cake. And
so
so
nice.
like, because my mom was worried about running out of cake, we had 4 tiers of cake left over because Kyle's groom's cake was 2 tiers.
Right.
Oh, right. I forgot it.
And then we had the kitchen cake. And so we had so much cake.
Yeah.
But what
the most moist almond pound cake you've ever
so
tried.
Good. But what we learned about
not more than better than my mom's though.
The venue, like being owned by the catering company, we told them our head count and that they didn't cut more cake than the number we told them. And so some people didn't get cake because people knew how good this cake was. And like your dad wasn't the only one who was like, I had 3 slices. I had 4 slices.
Right.
And they only did it by the head count, which I think is like kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like cut more cake.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't have a bunch left. They sent with me because I didn't keep the top tier.
Also, like what my dad always says to me at a restaurant when I'm like in between 2 orders, he's like, well, eat the first one. And if you want more, like get more. So it's like if you run out and people are like asking someone for cake, cut more. Like I get like you wanting to store it right. But like
we
I'd
came home
rather
with
eat
4
it.
slices.
yeah, for tiers. That's like
Or
me
4
asking
tiers,
for glow sticks. I'm like, we didn't buy 100 glow sticks for them to sit in the closet.
Yeah.
Newsflash.
So just very bizarre. And I think that is like something like venue, maybe specific and
Very specific, but like
Yeah.
good to know. I would have never thought that.
so if you're owned
Just
by a catering
mention
company,
it to your person.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
we want everyone to get dessert.
Or just be like,
some multiple
we don't even want to
slices.
take this home. Like, give us a few to-go boxes. Because, like, if you're
Yeah.
keeping the first tier or whatever, top tier, or if you like Matthew and I got some in our bags.
yeah, we had
We
some in
had
our
some,
bags.
too.
Kyle has the top tier of his groom's cake. We kept
Does he have the fish, like, literally on it?
the
in the
fish.
freezer?
The fish is in the freezer.
Oh, my God, in the garage.
Yes, the garage freezer.
Been in Caitlin's freezer, and I'm like,
You're like,
not
which
here.
one?
I'm like, I didn't see it.
Which of the 3 is it in?
You guys, Caitlin's fridge is the most interesting thing to go through in your life. I would go over there. She graduated college a semester before me, and she just like took on the adult world and like wanted it. And I would go over there and I'd open her fridge and I would know whatever was like 2 for $1 at Harris Teeter because she would have like 8 of them. She'd have like 8 bags of cheese. She'd be like, it was 3 for $5 on shredded cheese, Mary Lily.
That's how Gil shops too.
Well,
so we always
and
have it
surplus. Now I know that like you don't have to buy everything; you just get it half off. But anyway,
But it was a fun time.
You're like, are
I
there
used
sales
to walk
going on?
into Caitlin's house,
Yeah.
just flip the fridge open.
literally, I had a video from COVID of my fridge and like my liquor cabinet, my bar, and it was like, did a small family live there?
Caitlin ordered like 80 meals. What were
Oh no, that was an
fruit and veggie
accident.
meals
That was an accident.
that you like blend up? What did
No, it was the smoothies.
Yeah,
I ordered like the smoothies, and then they sent me 2, and so I had
The like delivery service.
the daily
ones. Yes.
harvest.
Yes, I used to get those too, and they taste all
it
the
was
same.
falling out of Caitlin's fridge.
It was excessive. Haven't gone back.
And none of them are that great.
No, not.
Sorry, Daily Harvest.
Yeah, don't add us. We're here for the cake, not the smoothies. But I guess pre-wedding diet.
Yes.
Sure. We'll do some smoothies.
Yeah,
All right.
Prolon. I did Prolon.
Yes, you and your olives.
Any final thoughts before we go to our game?
Cake.
All right, and that's
I
enough
think we're
from me.
good.
All right. So today, the good, the bad, the ugly of cake stories. So I think you mentioned this, but the tradition of cake feeding has kind of turned into a little bit of a violent situation in certain scenarios. And so like the cake smashing, cake feeding, it's like in some cases like borderline assault.
Divorce.
So have a couple of stories for you. And then you can tell me.
I can't wait to give my opinion. So go ahead with the story.
your unveiled opinions. Okay. Let's see. Mother of the bride wanted to surprise the bride with a cake topper. Didn't tell her at all leading up to it. After the ceremony, the mother went to the coordinator with like a massive cake topper that wasn't a true cake topper. It was like a porcelain figurine that was like 10 inches tall. And the coordinator was like this little, like it was a petite cake. She was like, this is not going to be able to.
Not demure.
Yeah. And so she was like, I'll put it aside. Like she was like very busy getting ready and was like, mother of the bride, like, let's like just give me a couple minutes. We'll revisit this. And she left. And a couple minutes later, there was a crash. And the coordinator saw the like broken topper because the mother of the bride just like stuck it in there. And then so it obviously like smashed and the topper broke. The cake got smooshed. And
naughty.
so they ended up having to put the smooshed side of the cake against the corner of the wall, and they super glued the figurine.
Oh my gosh.
I would have said, forget the figurine.
I would have been pissed, Mom. Like, I mean, it's sure good intentions.
I cannot believe after all of that, she was like, okay, super glue the figurine. I would have been like, are you kidding?
I'd be like, throw it in the trash.
I'm also
Okay,
like,
some of those figurines, though, I know can cost a lot of money and they're not very cute. Like,
So throw it in the trash.
Also, another thing with toppers, you guys know the story because I've said it a million times, but not the listeners, maybe.
Just 4 or 5 times.
But my cake topper was my grandparents' cake topper. And while I loved it, it was at first supposed to be on our groom's cake, which they wanted to be a square for some reason. And I was like, that doesn't make sense in my head. And they were going to put that topper on it. And I was like, I just don't really want that like at all. I was going to do that vintage style like frosting because that's kind of what the style of the cake topper is. And then I just decided not to do that. And I wanted it to be on the piano with my guest book and all of the other to-dos. But my planner, I don't know, for some reason, put it on my cake. And I did not see it until I was about to cut it. And I was like, whatever, it's my grandmother's, love it. Right. But it like wasn't my vision, was not in a single picture I sent to the person doing the cake. Yeah. So it was like the next day, I literally was sitting at brunch with my parents. I'm like, everything was perfect, but like
the cake
another thing.
Add it to the list.
Yeah. The cake topper was like not what I wanted.
All right. So we have 2 to rate then.
So which one's worse?
Yeah. So which one? So,
but I think if you don't want the topper, don't
force it.
Do whatever the bride wants.
Yeah.
That was annoying. Yeah. I had to tell my parents that the next morning and complain to them after they had thrown me a beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
I think that's bad. It's not your story, but the porcelain figurine, I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not awful.
At least the cake wasn't totally ruined. I would still be very pissed.
Yeah.
But not the end of the world.
Yeah. You can recover.
They put it in the,
they
the
made
damaged
they
side
made
in the
it work.
corner. Yeah.
They had a coordinator that had some common sense.
Yeah. I would have had quite a discussion with my mother the next day, though.
Yeah, that would
I'd be like, Mom.
What were you thinking?
Well, who footed the bill?
Probably Mom.
I know.
I know. The same conversation might happen, but I'm just saying.
I'd be like, Mom.
All right. So another one. This is on the theme of borderline assault.
Oh.
The bride got smashed.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. The bride got smashed in the face with cake in the feeding. She fell backwards over her chair.
They were sitting?
They were standing. They didn't
in front of the chair.
They didn't really do like a cake cutting. They were brought cake and they were just like standing up at their places.
Mm-hmm. Right. They had a sweetheart's table.
Yeah. Or like the head table. But it was like everybody was on one side of it. And so they were just feeding each other. And he went to feed her and she fell backwards over the chair. It wasn't even crazy, violent of what he did, but
she tumbled. Surprise.
Yeah, she lost her balance. It was a beach wedding. It was on the sand.
Oh my gosh.
She got up and punched the groom in the face with cake, with
a little
cake,
dramatic,
but still.
Ugh.
I mean, I would be embarrassed enough that I fell. Let's not make it worse by punching your groom in the face.
By showing how aggressive you can be.
Right. Save that you are already married, but you still, but you can still get an annulment at this point. So maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Don't give anybody reason for
you don't want that to be the takeaway from your wedding.
Yeah. It's
true, which is the best point is you don't want that to be what everyone remembers.
Because people remember that you fell, but if you laugh it off and handle it with grace,
no one forgets someone punching their husband in the face.
Yeah.
Especially
I can't imagine him just laughing that off either.
It was so awkward. I was at that wedding.
Boys do not laugh stuff like that off.
He was pretty aloof. So
most
are they still married?
They still don't like getting punched in the face by a girl.
To follow up, they're still married. They have a child, but they're not close with the rest of the family because the wife is, as you might imagine,
violent.
As if you weren't out.
Yeah, she was FaceTime me. She was the one being FaceTime from prison. No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
No, that was my funnel cake, people.
No,
Don't
I know.
worry.
Okay. Next one.
At the rodeo.
The venue accidentally put the cake in the freezer and they couldn't cut the cake or serve it at all at the ceremony.
I'd be pissed.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, like what the heck?
But you're getting money back.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a refund,
I
but
would be threatening people. I mean, I should have threatened someone over the cake topper. I could have. My parents would have never let me.
but I was so excited for my cake.
amount of people
And
I
can you
wanted to
imagine?
Just being like, no dessert today.
No dessert. And I'd be like, are you serious? I barely ate my meal. I want the dessert.
I
Like,
know.
how will they know that I'm losing my virginity? How are we going to show our commitment?
Okay, but also all your guests too to not have
Yeah.
dessert.
Like,
it's
some
like a
people
little
love
embarrassing.
dessert, you
a lot of
know?
people are there
It's
for the
me.
cake, aka my
And-
bridesmaid. I mean, my not my bridesmaid, my
Your
flower
parent-
girl.
Oh, your flower girl. I feel like it's like, yeah, a lot of people are there for the cake, and it's like people plan their meals around the cake.
Like sometimes I
People
save
plan
it for
their calorie
dessert.
counter on the day.
It at least is. I do feel like that's understandable. That's not it. Like that's nobody's fault. That's the venue's fault.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's their fault.
Yeah. I would be like, pay for the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awful though.
But that's it.
yeah.
Good.
Don't punch anybody.
Wait, good,
Yeah.
bad, or ugly?
Good. I think the punch was ugly.
The punch was ugly. Yeah, that really.
I
was.
think out of the three, that was the good. The mom and the cake topper is the bad. And the other one's the ugly.
All right. Well, I have two more.
So that's just the rating so far.
Yeah. Thank you for your recap. The next one's pretty crazy. A 27-year-old bride divorced her husband after smashing cake in her face when she explicitly told him not to.
Okay, well, there's
other issues.
yeah.
She left the reception immediately via Uber and packed up her things from
Okay,
their
well, that
apartment.
was ugly before we even got to
Yeah.
the wedding. Let's
Yeah.
just say
Yeah.
that.
Sounds
She
like the
had
relationship's
regrets
ugly.
before the wedding, and the cake was just the reason.
Icing on the cake.
The icing
Yeah,
on the cake.
Funny.
Yeah, that sounds like a waste of money.
I agree.
And time.
Yeah, how awkward would that be if you're at a wedding and they like
So, like,
leave
do you
and they're
keep
like, we're
going?
divorced. Yeah, it's like, do I get my gift? Should I just like take it with me?
Yeah.
Like,
You like,
like,
grab
you're-
your gift on their way out.
It's like they've
Taking this
already
back.
paid for it.
Yeah.
So do you just keep enjoying the reception? Like,
So awkward.
I would.
So awkward. All right, last one. Bride ordered a vanilla with buttercream cake. She's super, super picky. She cut into the cake doing their super cutesy cake cutting thingy. And it was a white cake with cream cheese icing and a jelly filling.
Jelly filling.
Not the jelly filling.
I'd be mad.
I feel like relax.
You'd
I
what?
get it. You're plain, but like if it's like, but if it's still vanilla cake
Yeah.
with pretty plain icing. Like,
Yeah.
you can
But like,
eat
I
around it
still
and let
would
the rest
like.
of your guests.
I would
be
like
okay.
probably
I'd
talk
be
to
pissed.
the
I like
baker.
how I'm saying this. Like if this happened to me, I would have literally
Yeah.
raised hell.
I wouldn't have. I probably would have like
Very
cut
light.
it and
I'm
been
a
like,
very calm girl.
Yeah.
This would be no big deal to
no big
me.
deal. But I'd be pissed. No, I do feel like when I cut it and I looked at that, I'd be like, not what I wanted. But I would try and
Yeah, it's
be
like
composed.
it is,
But I would
it
be.
is what it
I would be
is
talking
at
to
that
the planner.
point.
And
Yeah, that's like me with the cake topper, except I just had nothing in my planner.
you never want to talk to that woman again.
No, I was like, I'm ghosting you. Please ghost me.
Yeah. Let's make
Feelings
this
mutual.
All right. Well, wrapping up, any kind of like closing tips to avoid disaster? Don't punch your groom in the face.
Please don't do that.
Go to premarital counseling.
Yeah, and like do your cake tasting. Be specific.
Yeah.
Always ask for what you want. If you want a private cake tasting, do it.
Yeah.
If you want a groom's cake with a bass jumping out of a lake by corn, get it.
Is it corn or like the cattails thing?
It's corn.
Oh.
It's cattails.
Depends on who you ask.
Oh, okay. And if you want everyone to have a slice of cake, make sure that the people cutting it knows.
Cake, 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 cake.
Okay.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Follow, subscribe, like us.